From Del Mar to Middletown, Bombay Hook to the Brandywine, Dover to Wilmington. This is the Caesar Rodney Institute Policy Podcast. Today, CRI Communications Director Sam Friedman talks with climatologist David Legates on the demonization of thousands of scientists whose research does not conform to the government's position that man is causing climate change. Here's Sam.
I wanted to start by talking about the report that came out yesterday from the U.S. government climate scientists that says the warming of the oceans due to climate change is now unstoppable. How do you respond to that?
Climate warming is unstoppable. Why? The question is, if for some reason the sun were to turn off, then why would the oceans continue to warm? And the argument is that climate doesn't answer that way. There are things that take a while to happen. There are things that happen over longer and shorter time scales. But some sort of this idea of unstoppable is just sort of bizarre.
Supporters of the theory of man-made climate change go after any scientist, any skeptic such as yourself, if you disagree. What have they done to you personally?
I used to be the state climatologist. I'm not. I used to be director of the Delaware Environmental Observing System. I'm not. I used to have graduate students and teach graduate courses in climatology. Now I don't, and I don't. And this is sort of the punishment for not following along with the party line. I mean, nobody's ever brought out the argument that I'm not qualified to be state climatologist. That's not the argument. The argument was, of course, that my views don't necessarily agree with either the previous governor, the current governor, the president of the university, or something along those lines. And so someone somewhere had to make a change.
When I look at something like DNREC and their climate action plan and the whole sea level rise deal, because we're back in Delaware, what do you think about their sea level rise plan, and what is their end game?
Well, I can't get into their heads and think about what they're doing. I know that Colin O'Mara had a history of a variety of things, and it seems that this works into that mantra. But the argument sea level rises, sea level has been rising since the demise of the last ice age, and unless we turn around and head into another ice age, sea levels will probably continue to rise for another 1,000 years or so. This has been an ongoing phenomenon, and it's something you can't stop. The problem is we got into this discussion originally down at Bethany because, in particular, and along other coastal areas where you have a major nor'easter or a tropical storm or hurricane remnant come through, it does tremendous damage to the beaches. And as a result, we need to figure out what we're going to do with beach replenishment. Are we going to continue, or are we going to give it up? Or if we're going to continue to beach replenishment, who pays for it? Citizens of Bethany, citizens of Delaware, the people that come to visit, tourists, all of the above. How do we deal with that? And somehow in that discussion, we got derailed into a discussion of, well, if Delaware would just lower its carbon footprint, somehow sea level would stop rising, and then we don't even have to worry about this anymore because Bethany and Dewey and all of the nice places we like to visit will remain intact.
Is it true that scientists who supported the man-made climate change theory are confessing they did not believe it?
Well, there's been a number of high-profile cases in Germany and most recently in Australia where some scientists who have been government scientists all their life and have been working steadily with climate change and adaptation, mitigation, all that sort of stuff, retires, and then they come out and say, well, I really think it was overblown and overstated. And, you sort of wait, why are you coming out now? Well, you know why they're coming out now, because if they said this while they were employed, they would immediately become unemployed. And I've had some people at DNREC, and I won't name names, but I've had some at DNREC say, I think this is all off base and so forth. We're losing track of what we're supposed to be doing. But I can't say that publicly because I'd lose my job. So I'll go along with it so that I can keep going, keep my job going. And maybe, when these people retire in another 20, 30, who knows how many years, they'll come out and say, yeah, it was all farce.
That was climatologist Dr. David Legates, professor of geography at the University of Delaware. You've been listening to the Caesar Rodney Institute Impact Delaware Policy Podcast. Visit our website, caesarrodney.org, for more news and information on policies affecting you. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to follow all our YouTube videos. I'm Sam Friedman. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.